Well, good evening, everybody. It's Sunday Night Live. We're here on Sunday, June 14th, 2026, and we've got lots to cover. My name is Marc B, Marc Belaiche, co-founder of Guhuza, and we have...
Marc A. Hey, two Marks on our call. I'm Marc-Anthony Jackson, talent and client creator here at Guhuza. Welcoming everyone to a great night. We got a lot to talk about, Mark.
Lots to talk about, yeah. So we got Marc A, Marc B. We're both Marc with a C as well, which is a little bit unusual for Marks, right? But anyways, we're at it. So yeah. So if you're not familiar with the show, we're on every Sunday night. We talk about things that are happening in the labor market, things that are happening in jobs, some funny stories, some not so funny stories, and we are going to be talking this week about some job creation. We're talking about ongoing difficulty for job seekers. We're talking about slow and cautious hiring. And we're also going to talk about AI, and we're going to talk about a funny story that's come up this week as well. So let's start with the data that's actually showing. So jobs came out about 8, 9 days ago now. It usually comes out the first Friday of the month. So jobs are being created. U.S. job openings, there's 7.6 million. Which is a good increase from before. Canada created 88,000 jobs, but unemployment remains kind of relatively stable. But hiring doesn't feel that brisk, right, Marc A?
It's really, at this point, it kind of feels confusing to job seekers. And that's what I've been talking about on my Thursdays at 2 o'clock as well. When you hear numbers like 7.6 million jobs open in the US or 88,000 jobs added in Canada, you think that hiring should feel easy, right? But for candidates, it often feels like nothing's really going their way. A lot of people feel they're still applying to multiple roles, waiting weeks to hear for response. And even when they get an interview, there still may be more steps that they have to take on, more approvals and longer timelines before a final decision is actually made.
Yeah,
So
so jobs
go ahead.
exist.
Yeah.
Yeah, jobs exist. Hiring feels slow, difficult. Labor, like the population is still growing as always, right? So it's not frozen. It's just slower, and people get scared. They hear layoffs and AI taking over their jobs, and I don't know. It's a weird kind of market at this time, isn't it?
It's just more selective and it's harder to move through than before, really and truly. There's more processes, there's more steps, and it's just kind of increased the process for both the job seeker and the employer at the end of the day. But
Yeah,
companies are being
employers.
more selective,
Yeah, that's right.
100%.
Employers seem a little bit more cautious, don't they? Like a little bit
Yeah.
more, hey, you know what? Let's make sure. And I mean, I've been in 30 years in this thing. I've seen swings where one interview hired, right? And then there's times like now where it's like, it runs over a longer period, and companies are a little bit more cautious. And yeah, so it's interesting. So in saying that, our next topic is kind of that networking and referrals really matter more than ever in today's world.
Especially.
Because it seems like referred candidates often stay longer also in roles than non-referred hires, and employers are continuing to rely heavily on referrals and trusted networks, and job seekers are still kind of depending on online applications and like older school side of it. So what do you
I
see there?
mean, and a job seeker, at the end of the day, if you're going on somewhere like LinkedIn, Indeed, you can see that hundreds of people have applied for the job before you.
Right.
So you can't just rely on online applications. A resume is still one of the most important things. Don't forget that. But when an employer is receiving so many applications, even the strong candidates can get missed sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's why referrals, networking, and real conversations, like what we do at Guhuza, really matter more than ever before because they help people see the real person behind the resume.
Absolutely. You got job seekers applying online, employers hiring through networks, and there's just a mismatch. But at the end of the day, hiring is still human, and it really starts with earlier than the application stage. Who do you know? And when we talk about this in our teams too, is like if you want to make yourself more valuable, really contribute, like really build your network, build your contacts, and create that LinkedIn profile as well.
And
But
one last thing on
yeah,
that topic too, Mark, it really doesn't mean that you should stop applying online. It
that's
doesn't
right.
say completely stop applying online,
Right.
but it should mean that when you're applying, you should have that as just one part of the process, not the entire strategy. Your application, there's more stages to this. You understand that, you have to understand the market, and you just have to work with it.
Very good point. 100%. You got to know what's out there for sure, and just use all the tools that are available, especially if you're actively looking. So our next segment is about young workers facing the toughest entry point, and we've talked about
Mhm.
this before. But I wanted to delve into a little bit more about the youth unemployment rate between the two countries, Canada and the U.S., that we deal with. So the U.S. Youth unemployment rate, which is about 15 to 24-year-olds, give or take, is 9.4%, which is still above the national average in the U.S. But the Canadian youth unemployment rate is 14.3%, which is like 50% higher than what the U.S. youth unemployment rate is. And there's a clear gap between Canada and the U.S. and youth unemployment rate overall is significantly higher than the overall unemployment rate. And entry level hiring just remains competitive. It's fierce. It's challenging. You've got that mismatch. So what do you hear about that?
It really shows from both sides, the US and Canada, that young people are facing a tougher entry point into the market at the end of the day. A lot of them, and I've talked to a lot of them, they're ready for work. They're ready to get in there, but they keep running into the same issues. Employers want experience, but younger people need somewhere to start first. And now, even entry level roles can receive hundreds of applications. You've seen it, I've seen it. So it's not just about being qualified, it's also about being able to stand out. And that's what many people are forgetting. Young candidates need to show proof of what they can do, whether it's through a co-op experience, projects that they've done at school, volunteer work, part-time jobs, or even just schoolwork. Just show that you are capable of doing something for them.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And you got to stand out. But the flip side of looking at it is that say even it's 10% unemployment, that means 90% are employed, right? Like
Mhm.
that's a pretty big number. If I ever
That's a
got
pretty
close to
percent.
90% on school, I would have been like pretty happy, right?
Honor roll.
um, so, but yeah, I mean, possible differences between the two countries, like why the rate is higher, much higher in Canada. You got some labor supply differences. Entry level jobs might not be as available in Canada, and different industries as well, right? In
Yeah,
terms of the countries as well. But the hardest job is usually the first one. You can't get
always the
experience
first.
without getting a job, and you can't get a job without experience. So finally, this is the best one of the week. So that we heard last week. So she beat 261 applicants, but she wasn't real. So a company selected a candidate who beat 261 other applicants. Candidate turned out to be not even be a real person. It was an AI generated identity. Application materials were used in the process. So what do you think about that? I mean, it was bound to happen, right? It was bound to
It was,
happen.
and we keep talking about this too. People are just using AI everywhere. They're using AI for everything. And that really shows you how much AI is changing the hiring process in general.
Yeah.
If a fake candidate can be 261 real applicants, then employers have a real trust issue to deal with right now, don't they?
Yeah.
AI can now create resumes, cover letters, interview answers, and even full candidate profiles. So someone who may appear good on paper, you know, an employer still has to ask, is this person real? Can they actually do the job?
Right.
And for real candidates, it's more important to think about authenticity. Make yourself real, make yourself relatable, and get to that interview stage. And even what we do at Guhuza, getting people to live interview face to face with the employer or recruiter, that shows much more than what any of these fake resumes can show.
That's right. Well, we've been talking. Our mission at Guhuza is to have 10,000 live interviews happening each day, and live interviews. They can't really fake that, because the candidate gets a ping. Live interviews don't have too much time to prepare because you just want to be real. You just want to be yourself. So in recap, as we wrap things up, we got job openings are increasing, which is a good sign. Hiring still feels slower. Networking and referrals still matter the most. Youth unemployment rate is a challenge, and obviously AI is changing how candidates are evaluated. Do you want to talk about your Thursday at 2 o'clock segment?
Most definitely. Thursday, our live session, a Q&A job search walkthrough. We speak to job seekers, employers, recruiters, students, anyone who wants to better understand what's happening in the job market right now. It's an open conversation for anybody. So if this connects with you, feel free to join us on Thursday at 2 o'clock Eastern. We're on LinkedIn Live now, and we are also on Zoom. So feel free to sign up. There will be a link in the description or in the comments, I believe, for anyone to sign up to that.
Sounds great. So if you're watching, put in the comments if there's more jobs available. Why does it feel harder than ever to get hired? And we'd love to hear from recruiters as well. If you got some talent acquisition people, if you have some ideas on that, make sure if you're looking for a job, upload your resume to Guhuza. It takes 30 seconds. It's really easy to do. Then you can get pinged for invitation for a live interview. And also, if you're an employer, check us out. Upload a job, push a button, start interviewing candidates live on the platform. So anything else before we head into Monday tomorrow? And
I want to give everyone a good reminder. Jobs may be available, right? I'll say it again. Jobs are available, but getting hired does feel slower, more competitive, and more relationship driven. So it's especially important that you get out there, network, and show people what you can do. No matter who it is. It could be the person next to you at a job fair. It could be anyone can help you out. You just have to make that connection first.
Absolutely. Great points. Have a good week ahead, Marc A.
Oh, it's going to be a busy week, Mark. You know it.
Lots of stuff going on.
Always.
All right. Take care. Here we go.
Have a great one, everyone.
Take care, everybody. Bye.